UFC. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, and hello, everyone. Welcome to the UFC 212 Aldo versus Holloway conference call. A bit of a twist on our typical conference call today, as we'll have Jose Aldo here first. He'll be speaking to us for about half an hour at most, and then we'll let them go, and then we'll bring Max Holloway onto the line for the remaining time that we have through 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over. With Jose Aldo, we have his translator, Derek Lee, today, and we'll go ahead and start taking our first questions.
Perfect. And if you'd like to ask questions, please signal by pressing *1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, press *1 to ask a question. We'll pause for just a moment to allow everyone an opportunity to signal. And once again, to ask a question, please press *1. And we'll take our first question from Damon Martin with Fox Sports. Please go ahead.
Hey, Jose. My first question, the last year for you has been, kind of crazy. You nearly retired. You nearly walked away from the sport. Where is your mind at as you go into this title fight in Brazil? Are you happy to be back? Are you excited to be fighting?
O Júnior, ele falou que o seu último ano foi um ano bem louco para você, né? Você teve aquela história de talvez uma aposentadoria e você voltou, pegou o cinturão. Como é que está a sua cabeça entrando nessa luta agora? Você está animado lutando no Brasil e unificar o cinturão?
Acho que primeiramente lutar no Brasil para mim sempre é um privilégio muito grande, é uma felicidade. Eu gosto de lutar aqui, principalmente para família, amigo, para todo mundo. Eu acho motivado toda vez que eu estou lá dentro, eu sempre vou estar motivado. É isso que eu escolhi para minha vida, é isso que eu gosto de fazer, é isso que eu sinto prazer em fazer. Geralmente eu sempre falo que eu ando para frente, né? Então o que passou para mim ficou para trás. Eu acho que não vai importar o que passou ou não, mas, cara, estou muito motivado. Acho que unificar o cinturão, para mim, eu me sinto campeão. Eu nunca deixei de ser campeão, então para mim é mais uma luta, uma defesa de cinturão.
It's a great pleasure. It's a great honor for me to come back and fight in Brazil, and really know that what motivates me is that I love what I do, and this is what I do for a living. So the past year, I just prefer to put that behind me, and I'm happy to go in there and unify this belt because, like I always said, I've always thought that I've never lost a championship. I've always been the champion.
Outside of the fight with Conor McGregor, you have dominated everyone at featherweight. Do you see Max Holloway as, in a way, maybe the last man standing in this division for you, considering you've beaten most of the other contenders, currently in the top 5?
Considerando que você já, no top 5 da tua categoria, você já passou praticamente por todo mundo que ainda tem na sua categoria, você acha que o Max Holloway talvez seja o último grande prova que você tem até 66?
Para mim, sempre as minhas lutas são mais importantes, independente de quem seja, né? É uma grande luta, é um cara que vem com bom recorde, então fez como você está fazendo essa luta. Creio que para mim vai ser uma grande luta, a gente está empolgado com isso, mas tem objetivos também a fazer, então eu não me ligo muito se é o bom desafio ou não, porque de todo mundo eu já venci ali. Acho que eu sou campeão por campo tempo dominante, então penso que ela fica muito grande em cima de mim. Mas eu considero como se fosse mais uma, assim vencendo, e a gente tem novos objetivos, novos gols que eu tenho que alcançar. Está surgindo novas estrelas também na categoria, tem bons lutadores surgindo, que futuramente eles possam estar de novo, então, disputando o cinturão. Mas para mim não ligo muito por isso não, esse ano, né?
Yeah, it's something I really don't think about much, but I think it's going to be a great fight. I think that he's had great fights in the past, and he's built himself up to title challenge. But it really doesn't matter to me. I have some own goals of mine right now, and different things that I have been thinking of, and just going in there and defending my belt once again. I think there's a lot of guys coming up, new guys that are going to be coming up and be fighting for the title soon. So you know, it really doesn't matter to me. My job is to go in there and defend my belt.
And Jose, what are your thoughts on some of the things?
Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Jack Encarnacio with Boston Herald. Please go ahead.
Thanks very much. Jose, you mentioned in your comments that you have your own goals that you're focused on. What are those goals?
Jonas, você falou que você tem algumas outras metas, algumas outras coisas que você está tendo na sua vida. Quais são essas metas?
Da minha vida profissional ou particular?
De tudo. Particular também.
Então, de tudo, primeiramente eu tenho que fazer a próxima defesa agora. Assim vencendo, eu quero lutar como ter um desafio, né? Eu acho que infelizmente pela categoria eu tenho o objetivo também de fazer luta me testar com outros oponentes de outras categorias. Eu acho que fazer grandes eventos. Esse é um objetivo que eu tenho. Na vida particular, fazer respeito a mim mesmo. Que eu tenho os objetivos, então isso diz respeito a mim e minha família.
Yeah, I think right now I have to get through this title fight right now, and once I get through that, I can start thinking of some of the other things I like to do. You know, I think there's a lot of challenges and even maybe other divisions or other guys that I haven't fought before. So I think there's plenty left for me to challenge myself, and in my personal life, I have my own things as well. But that's between just me and my family.
Are there any prior challenges, Jose, that you've faced in your career that are similar to Max? Does he have a style that reminds you of any opponents you've fought before?
Tem algum adversário seu do passado que você se lembre do Max, seja de estilo ou de qualquer outra coisa?
Tem algum adversário que eu me lembro do passado?
Alguém que você já lutou que tem um estilo parecido ou de repente um alcance, uma coisa assim?
Parecido com o meu?
O que você acha parecido? Você acha que você já lutou com alguém que tem um estilo parecido com o do Max de lutar?
Já lutei vários, né, cara? Desde o WC eu já peguei vários caras. Acho que para mim isso não é uma novidade. Já peguei caras altos, já peguei cara baixo, com grande alcance, com pouco alcance. Para mim não é uma novidade, né? Desde a minha carreira eu já lutei com milhões de atletas, né? Vários atletas que têm a mesma característica. Como eu treinei com pessoas que fazem também a mesma característica, tentando simular o mais perto possível do jogo do Max. Então, para mim, isso não é uma novidade. Estou bem tranquilo quanto a isso.
Yeah, it's really nothing new to me. I've fought many guys before, even in my WC days, that had similar characteristics to him, and I've trained with guys that are similar to him and been training with those guys. So it's normal to me. It's not anything that surprises me.
Jose, do you still want to try to box? And if so, do you want to try to do that while under UFC contract or after this 5-fight contract is over?
Ele está perguntando se você gostaria de fazer uma luta de boxe e se você faria isso no seu contrato do UFC ou quando expirasse o contrato do UFC.
Acho que lutar boxe é um desejo meio pessoal que eu tenho. Eu quero fazer isso no futuro, né? Então, mas isso vai depender muito do UFC, mano. Eu preciso que eles me dêem autorização, eu preciso que eles me liberem para mim fazer isso. Fazer super lutas, né? Ou luta de boxe, mas eu não quero fazer super luta, não quero desafiar ninguém, não quero lutar com nenhum top, eu quero fazer uma carreira dentro do boxe. E para mim fazer isso, eu preciso de uma autorização do UFC. Então, isso, mais para frente, eu vou sentar e vou começar com o nosso dono, vou começar com o Dan, já expressei meu desejo para ele e não é novidade sobre isso. Eu acho que, primeiramente, eu queria me testar, fazer lutas pequenas, para um dia, quem sabe, disputar algo maior. Então, esse é um desejo que eu tenho meu, pessoal.
Yeah, boxing is that's always been a personal wish of mine, and it's something that I like to think of a little bit down the road. But the wish that I have is not to I don't have any specific one fights that I'd like to have. I'd actually like to start a career and fight in smaller shows and see where that takes me. So yeah, that would be something that I would need to sit down with Dana and see how they would do down the road. But it'd be something I'd have to do outside of my career in the UFC, as I'd like to have a career in boxing.
Last question from me. Is there anything about fighting in Brazil, Jose, that adds a different feeling to the experience? What is it about fighting in Brazil? How is it different than fighting in the United States for you?
O que é diferente você lutar no Brasil e lutar nos Estados Unidos? Tem uma sensação diferente?
De lutar no... Cara,
no Brasil e no...
Para mim, pela possível energia positiva de todo mundo, né? De todo mundo falar português, então tem uma situação diferente, mas hoje em dia, pelo fato de estar tão acostumado a lutar tanto no Brasil e fora, eu não vejo tanta diferença assim, né? Mas por isso mesmo que aqui está muito próximo da família, dos amigos, onde você treina, onde você vive, onde você mora. Então, tem essa diferença, mas lutar fora também hoje em dia é uma coisa que é tão profissional que vários brasileiros viajam para assistir a luta, né? Então, eu não vejo tanta diferença quanto isso. Mas, lógico, estar em casa, arena lotada e cheia, então tem um sabor diferencial por isso. Não sei se a gente vai falar mais, né?
Yeah. There's definitely a different feeling to it. Everyone is rooting for me, and everyone speaks Portuguese, so I can interact with everyone. So there is a different side to that. It's close to my gym. All my family and friends can be there. But, you know, I've fought so much outside of Brazil, so much in the United States, that it's very normal to me as well. So I don't even feel that as much anymore. Plus, when I fight in the U.S., for instance, there's so many Brazilians that travel to go watch the fights anyway that you still get a lot of that energy in there.
Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Diego Ribas with AG Fights. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm going to ask in Portuguese for Aldo. Aldo, tudo bem? Eu queria te fazer duas perguntas, Aldo. Primeiro, sempre que você vai lutar perto das suas lutas, muito, embora você vá lutar com outro adversário, ainda muito se pergunta sobre o Conor McGregor, se você quer lutar com ele, se você subiria de divisão para lutar com ele, enfim. Passado esses 2 anos que muito se falou entre você e ele, olhando para trás, você mudaria alguma coisa para evitar isso? Você acha que foi essa rivalidade foi inflada além do que deveria? Você mudaria algo? Você acha que você fez algo que... Não digo um erro, mas você mudaria algo?
Acho que é até bom falar nesse assunto, né? Que hoje em dia todo mundo fala uma coisa que eu não entendo nem porquê. Então, o Conor para mim, por um lado, foi bom, vamos falar assim. É bom que explicar isso para todo mundo. Porque, ele trouxe uma visibilidade muito maior que a gente já tinha. Tanto para a categoria, para mim, tudo. Mas, por outro lado, falar da luta, cara, tipo, foi uma coisa passada. Hoje em dia todo mundo sempre volta e fala de uma coisa, se eu quero ou não quero. Isso não depende de mim, né? Isso depende do UFC e a gente sabe que isso nunca vai acontecer. Infelizmente, ninguém volta a lutar. Então, eu peço não só para o repórter, para todo mundo que fica falando do Aldo, quando... Cara, isso não existe mais. O UFC tentou casar uma luta, ele não quis, não aceitou e não vai aceitar, porque aquilo que aconteceu nunca mais vai acontecer. Então, é até bom deixar claro isso para todo mundo. Então, eu sempre me perguntando essas coisas e ficar falando que o Aldo fez e não fez nada. Eu fiz o que eu sou e continuo sendo. Tipo, eu sou esse cara. Não tem como mudar, não tem um cara que vai chegar, vai fazer, que vai provocar, vai não sei o quê. Foi bom que me trouxe dinheiro. Só. Agora o resto continua normalmente, cara. E já falando se eu mudaria alguma coisa lá atrás, cara, lógico, né, a gente mudaria, a gente perdeu a luta, então muitas coisas a gente ia tentar melhorar, né? Se pudesse voltar atrás, eu acho que o erro não ia ser aquele. Então, esse é um fato mais certo, assim, né? Mas não tem como voltar atrás de uma coisa que já passou, né? Como eu falo para todo mundo, eu procuro olhar para frente, aprender por cada erro que eu fiz na minha vida. Eu sempre procuro tirar o lado bom das coisas. Eu nunca fico pensando, que... Não, pode acontecer coisa pior, coisa acontecer para mim. Eu sempre vou procurar tirar um lado bom dessa história. eu não fico chorando, eu não fico lamentando por algo que já passou. Então, para mim, eu mudaria assim, que eu não faria daquela maneira, vamos falar assim, fazer totalmente diferente, mas que não tem como voltar atrás. E hoje em dia, eu vejo declaração de atleta, eu vejo declaração de repórter, estou no UFC, o visual não sei o que, meu irmão, não tem como, o cara não quer estar comigo mais, e isso não vai acontecer nunca mais. É até bom que nunca mais ninguém fale mais, tanto do meu nome quanto do cara, que ele tem pouco me enchendo, para quem é o Conor vai fazer, o que ele fez fazer. Hoje em dia, eu sou um atleta do UFC e luta na luta de pena. Então, quem está dentro do ranking ali, é esses caras que eu tento lutar, que eu vou procurar treinar e melhorar cada vez mais para defender o cinturão.
Deixa eu traduzir a pergunta. So the question was about Conor McGregor. A lot of people still ask him about Conor, if he'd like to face him again. And looking back in these 2 years or so that they've been with this back and forth, is there anything that Aldo would do to change any of that? And Aldo's answer was pretty simple. Aldo Long was, I fought Conor. It was something that I try to take the best out of. I'm not going to sit around and cry. But in the end, we did lose the fight. So if I were to go back and change anything, I would change that. But really everything else that went around it, the division was promoted, the UFC. Myself, I was promoted. So I try to see the good in it, the silver lining and everything. But, the UFC tried to make this fight happen. Again, it didn't happen. The guy does not want to fight with me again. So it may be the last time that people ask. He doesn't want to have anything to do with me anymore, and that's fine. And people don't need to keep asking me about Conor McGregor anymore. It's happened. It's in the past.
Maravilha. Mas minha última pergunta, então, Aldo. Você vai enfrentar o Holloway agora, você já venceu o Edgar 2 vezes, enfim. Se a gente olhar para sua carreira, o Lama, de Chad Mendes 2 vezes, você basicamente, como o Damon perguntou agora há pouco, basicamente você limpou a divisão, digamos assim. Em cima disso, eu te pergunto, qual é, vencendo o Holloway, o que ele te acrescenta no seu legado e o quanto você ainda quer se dedicar à construção desse legado? Você já declarou duas coisas interessantes recentemente. Uma que você não quer lutar por muito tempo ainda, né? E outra que você declarou que gostaria talvez de iniciar uma carreira no boxe profissional. Então, em cima disso que a gente conversou agora, eu te pergunto, qual é o seu planejamento de carreira a curto e médio prazo? Terminando o contrato com o UFC, você vai migrar para o boxe? Até quando você quer lutar MMA? Você consegue dar um panorama sobre isso, por favor?
Até quanto quero lutar MMA e a minha carreira do boxe, é isso, né?
Oi?
Oi, irmão. Repete por favor a pergunta, só a pergunta.
Não, basicamente até quando você quer lutar MMA, você quer ir para o boxe depois, o quanto você ainda quer ser, por quanto tempo você ainda quer ser atleta profissional e o quanto que o Max Holloway acrescenta na sua carreira? Então, vamos lá. MMA representa muito para mim, foi o que eu escolhi para minha vida, como eu te falei, é o que eu gosto de fazer, é o que eu acordo cedo todas as manhãs, vou para a academia feliz, treinar, para defender esse cinturão. Eu me sinto muito feliz e orgulhoso de ser campeão da maior organização de MMA do mundo. Eu acho que milhões de pessoas queriam estar no meu lugar e eu tenho esse privilégio. Então, pode ter certeza que toda vez que eu estiver defendendo o cinturão, eu sempre vou estar com muita garra, com muita gana de vencer e de vitória. Isso eu nasci para isso. É isso que eu gosto de fazer e só isso que eu sei fazer. E a impressão de acreditar é muito grande. Estar sempre ali defendendo o cinturão, lutando MMA. Acho que o Max é um grande desafio, é um desafio que eu já via que isso poderia acontecer no futuro, né? Então eu procuro sempre observar cada lutador que está surgindo. Eu sou uma referência, eu sou um alvo, todo mundo quer ser campeão, então todo mundo mira muito para o campeão. Então eu procuro sempre estar estudando cada atleta novo que surge na categoria. Então isso vai ser uma prova para mim, porque ele é um cara novo, é um cara que vem cheio de gana querendo vencer, então vai ser mais um a tentar e não conseguir. Isso para mim é certo. E a carreira de boxe, cara, eu tenho porque é um desejo meu pessoal, né? Eu gosto de boxe, eu assisto luta de boxe, eu acompanho o boxe desde quando eu comecei a lutar MMA. Então é um desejo meu que eu tenho
Mas isso não depende só de mim, depende do UFC também, só a liberação, que eu possa um dia, quem sabe, lutar. Como eu falei, não de tentar desafiar campeões e fazer dinheiro em cima. Eu prefiro fazer história do que dinheiro, porque eu sei assim, voltar, ser lembrado o resto de tudo. O resto da história. Marcado.
So the question was, what does Holloway add to your legacy, and how long do you see yourself still fighting in MMA and see yourself as a professional athlete? And Aldo said, well, Holloway, he's a guy that I've been looking for a while, and I knew that we'd end up facing each other. He's a tough guy, and in my MMA career, I'm happy to go to the gym every day. This is what I chose to do with my life, so I'm happy to be able to do this. And I know there's plenty of people out there who would love to be doing it and can't. So, boxing is something that I love to do. It's a wish of mine that I've had to not just put on big fights, but actually put on a career in boxing. But that's something I'm going to have to discuss with the UFC and see what the best way of doing that is down the line. But right now, I'd like to defend my belts, and it's what I'm going to continue to do.
All right, and we're going to let Jose and Derek go. It's time to bring on Max Holloway. So we're going to put everyone on a brief hold as we dial in Max, and we will be back with everyone shortly with interim champion Max Holloway. Thank you. Hold on one moment and stay on the line. Hi, everyone, and thanks again for staying on the line. We now have interim featherweight champion Max Holloway on the line. So if you have any questions, they will prompt you, and we will turn the line over to Max.
Thank you. And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please signal by pressing star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, press star 1 to ask a question. We'll pause once more to allow everyone an opportunity to signal. And once again, that is star 1 to ask a question. And we'll take our first question from Steven Maraca with MMAJunkie.com. Please go ahead.
It's actually a question for Jose, but I guess he's off the phone. I guess, Max, a question I would ask you at the top of the bat is, do you feel comfortable with everything you've said leading into this fight? As Damon mentioned before, the whole Where's Waldo stuff, the talking you did to make this fight happen. Do you feel comfortable with everything you said?
Yeah. Everything I said was facts. These is facts, man. I'm not fucking making this shit up. You can go and everything I said, he's saying it. He's doing it. He said it, or it's written down somewhere. Go Google it. So I'm comfortable. Why wouldn't I be? I'm not making shit up.
A little earlier, Jose was talking about a desire to box professionally, and I'm wondering what your reaction to that is. Does that surprise you that he'd be interested in sort of going that route and trying a different sport? And do you think that means anything in relation to his long-term career goals or where his head is at?
I don't know, man. This guy got a big fight ahead of him in June 3rd. I ain't thinking about boxing. I ain't thinking about anything really but fighting on June 3rd. This is my career, this is my life, and I don't know. I understand people handle things different, but what the hell are you talking about boxing, man? He got a big fight. He got a big MMA fight in front of him at 212. So we see what happens. The world's gonna find out, and we see the way it goes down June 3rd by the pay-per-view. Make sure you guys tune in because this is like the most anticipated fight all year. All year, and we're like halfway through the year. So it's great. I'm happy, and that guy can think and whatever, but the way I look at things and stuff is that he got a big fight in front of him, and this guy thinking boxing. Like, you guys tell me what you guys think about it.
Well, I guess my follow-up would be: do you think his heart is still in it after all the acrimony he's had with the UFC, wanting to retire, play soccer, and now talking about boxing? Do you think his heart is still fighting? I can't speak for the man. I can't speak for him. That's the question you gotta go ask him. June 3rd, we're about to find out, though. We're about to find out if his heart is still in it, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see. But June 3rd is the date we find out if his heart is still in it, and just make sure you tune in because I can't answer the question for the man, but all I know is about to find out. Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Damon Martin with Fox Sports. Please go ahead.
Max, we've talked about Jose Aldo a lot over the last few years as the guy you looked up to when you were coming up in the sport. You had a lot of respect for him. But then the demeanor has changed a little bit over these last, 6 or 7 months. When you tried to fight him in November and it didn't happen. You tried to fight him in December, it didn't happen. All these different kind of back and forth. I mean, would you say your opinion or your respect or whatever you want to call it, has it changed for Jose Aldo leading into this fight from what it was a couple of years ago?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm fighting the guy, at the end of the day. And, business is business. It is what it is. Things happened. And I said it before. I said it earlier. Train till your idols become your rivals. And, I got one of them in front of me, and I can't wait to make that walk and fight the guy. Things happen. Timing wasn't right. The timing is now. And I just look forward to it. I respect the guy. Everybody think you need to respect the guy. Look, he's the greatest to do it. Like I said before, since I was 17, I watched this guy. I'm 25 now. He's still at the top of our division. So it's time for a new era. So it is what it is. And at the end of the fight, that's at the end of the fight. Right now we got business, and I just can't wait to fight the guy.
Yeah. Leading into this, Max, and you experienced it, a little bit more with your last fight when you beat Anthony Pettis. But, with this kind of fight comes a lot more attention, a lot more scrutiny, a lot more work. I mean, some fighters have admitted that, doing all the media and the traveling and all the things it takes away leading into the fight. How has it been for you? Because I know you've been kind of the American side, so to speak, promoting the fight while he's doing it down in Brazil. How has it been for you adjusting to life and has it affected you at all in terms of your mindset or just kind of staying focused on the fight?
This is the life I chose. This is the life I want. And these are the things you got to do, At the end of the day, the lead up to this fight, the promotion stuff, we had a bunch of stuff that was kind of crazy during camp and, miscommunication with media and stuff and whatever and this and that. But at the end of the day, this all comes with the sport, It is what it is. It's what I signed up for. I know what I signed up for. Even this media day, I'm out here on the media day in LA. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I was supposed to be on a plane heading over to Rio, but things change, shit happens, and you just move on. You just take things and you just roll with the punches. That's what you got to do, and it's not never ever going to take my mind off the fight, though. It's just the fight is fight. You got to promote a fight. You want to make a lot of money, you got to promote it. And so it's more helpful knowing that I get paid more and people buy more. So it's great.
Yeah. You know, as you've been on this streak, Max, you know, you've been so dominant. I mean, you were the first guy to, TKO Anthony Pettis. You had a very dominant win over Ricardo Lamas. You choked out Cub Swanson. Guys who are, obviously former champions and still guys who are top of the sport right now. The last time maybe a guy really pushed you, so to speak, you could argue maybe Andre Fili, I guess, a couple of years ago maybe, or, obviously the fight with Conor when you're dealing with an injury. Do you feel like, you can maintain that same level of dominance against a guy like Jose Aldo, who has been kind of the reverse? He's been just as dominant in his career outside of that one fight with Conor.
Yeah, we're about to find out, but that's the confidence. I know I can. I know this is confidence, not cockiness. Everybody keep saying, "Oh, this kid is cocky. This is it." No. Just because you don't believe in yourself, don't be trying to bring your negative ass energy around me. You keep your negative self away from me, and I'm gonna keep my positive self in my circle, of boys and people, and that's what we're gonna do. We stay confident. And I know I'm the greatest. I tell myself I'm the greatest, and this is what you need to do. I'm sure you guys don't wake up in the morning and be like, hey, I'm like a level C news MMA reporter. No, you gotta believe in yourself and believe that you're the greatest to ever do this shit, and that's what I'm doing. And like you said, the stats. They talk for themselves. Go look at the featherweight stats and records and whatever. If my name ain't first, it's at least in the top 3 or top 5 or whatever. So it is what it is. Like you said, I'm going out there to be dominant. I'm not trying to. This guy over here is saying that he could choose when he wanted to be in wars, and now he's choosing to finish me early or something. Like, that's fucking amazing. I don't read palms. I don't read the stars. I don't really, I'm not a mind teller or fortune teller. I can't see the future. But at the end of the day, I want the undisputed stuff, and I know the things I can control, the undisputed career, and I know the things I control is training and stuff, and, the way I prepare for fights. And I just want to be dominant. Like you said, you look at this last couple fights, it just was dominant wins, and I don't plan on changing anything come June 3rd.
My last question, Max. You down in Brazil when you did the press conference, you handed him a soccer ball and said, because he's talking about retirement, talking about going to play soccer, you just wanted to give him a gift to, help him along in that journey. And I know you said earlier you can't get in his head, you can't predict where his head's at, but do you feel like in any way, you're 25 years old, you're on this incredible win streak, do you feel like this could be kind of a passing of the guard in a way that, Jose was the champion, the most dominant champion in featherweight history, and this could be kind of like the passing of the torch?
It could be. We find out when we make that walk. Everything is going to be clear. The water is going to be clear after June 3rd. I tell you that much. I'm getting ready. I was getting ready for the best Jose Aldo, so I hope he's getting ready for the best version of me. And we're about to find out. The questions and everything is almost done, and we're about to find out what's going to happen.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you, brother.
And we'll take our next question from Jack Encarnacio with Boston Herald.
Hi, thanks. Max, what do you make of Jose's belt? He got knocked out by Conor. He beat Frankie, and then they gave him a belt. You won 10 straight. Do you see why he's got a belt instead of you just coming in as interim champ?
Yeah, at the end of the day, with that thing, he got caught, that 13 seconds or whatever, it happens, this is a sport. He was one of the greatest today. He had a long run, he definitely, he kind of questioned some things, like maybe why he didn't get an immediate rematch and blah, 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 and this and that. But, at the end of the day, he still fought Frankie for one, a dominated win, did it, won it, and I hold nothing against him, I don't care, like I said, they handle belts, and it is what it is. Everybody can get a belt. I don't care, I want the undisputed career. I want the best damn career. I want to be the best guy ever to do this. When I'm said and done, long time from now on, people still talking about my name and being the undisputed fighter in the world, not only of the featherweight, it's the GOAT, everything, I want to be like Demetria Johnson, taking pictures with 11 belts, or, even like Joanna, with her 5 belts, so it's cool. I want to be like these guys and just be dominant, just be dominant and make no question that, I was the best to ever do this.
you heard Frankie after he beat Yair Rodriguez saying that, if he's going to get a shot, you probably have to win, considering how many times he's fought Aldo. Do you think that the division is rooting for you to win?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know who's. Maybe they might think I'm an easier fight. That's why. So we see what happens. If they're rooting for me, I'm sure they think that Max probably easier fight than Aldo. So hopefully they can do my dirty work for me, and then I can go get it. But one thing is, everything looks different from outside the octagon until you step in there. So when people step in there with me, it's a whole different story.
We've really seen your confidence soar, and you've been, much more outspoken about your confidence in recent fights. When in this win streak can you point to? What fight did you come out feeling like, the man, like you were ready to represent yourself this way?
Had to be that Singapore fight, with Chope. It's just I was backed up in a corner. I had two L's, and 2 back-to-back losses, and usually when you get your third one, especially to a guy like him, he was a newcomer coming into the UFC. If I was to lose that fight, I probably would have got my slips. A good old, thank you for your stuff. Come again. And I wasn't about that life. I know I'm the greatest, and like I said, I ain't here to be average, and I always wanted to stick out as a sore thumb. So it's just that's what I'm doing. It's just confidence. I always had this confidence around me. It's just people wasn't talking to me. Now you guys talking to me. Now you guys seeing a lot more of it. It's like I'm not saying I'm not being anything different. I have a chance to talk a lot more, and you guys get to see this confidence. And all these things that I'm saying is I'm not saying not making up. I'm not over here making crazy assumptions, saying crazy shit. I'm just over here speaking facts, speaking the truth. Using people's words against them, and just having this confidence. Just like anything else, you need confidence in anything you do, and I have a lot of it.
Last one for you, Max. You probably saw that he kind of pushed back. Jose Aldo did at the talk about where's Aldo, and the idea that he was ducking scheduled fights with you. He had been trying to fight since December. January didn't happen. March, he never could do it. You mentioned you went to Disneyland. You had to travel. What did you make of those comments, him putting it in your court, why this fight hasn't happened?
Look, you guys I'm going to hit you guys with facts here. This is facts. Go and Google this. I was supposed to, he got offered to fight me at MGM, not MGM, NYC, or whatever. We were supposed to fight there, but he didn't want to fight. And you know why he didn't want to fight? He wanted to fight Anthony Pettis because he said he wanted an easier fight. He said the fight with me was too hard. So if he was going to fight, then whatever, he was going to fight Anthony Pettis because it was an easy fight. So what we did? We had to fight Anthony Pettis in December. We could have fought in November. And then this guy asks me to fight, I think it was a month and 1 week after, or 5 weeks after my last fight, to show up to February, and I was down. I said, yeah, I want to fight. But we had no contract. I went to the doctors, and the doctors didn't approve me. UFC is not going to let me fight if the doctors don't approve me. Well, I hurt my ankle. What the hell do you want me to do? And then at the end of the day, it's funny that you bring this up because it's called, I started this thing called Max Holidays. Come take your Max Holidays with me, I'm all for it. When you fight 3 to 4 times a year, you deserve time off. That guy wouldn't know about it. He wouldn't know about it because he never did. When is the last time he fought more than once? You guys tell me.
You mean in a year?
Yeah, once or twice or whatever it is. He gets hurt all the time, and he's out for a bunch of the years. So come enjoy your Max Holidays. When you work hard, that's what you get. You get to enjoy the perks, and I was working hard. Fucking doctor told I couldn't say no. The doctor wasn't letting me fight. I wasn't cleared. I had to go to PT on my ankle for 5 weeks, and that was the whole fight camp. And then I was supposed to not train? That makes no sense.
Thanks very much.
We'll take our next question from Akhilesh Ganavarapu with MMAWeekly.com. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, Max. Greetings from India. The first thing I wanted to ask you is, the situation with the interim titles still kind of persists in the UFC now with the promotion announcing yet another interim title fight. Now, considering you win the undisputed championship at 212, what does it mean for you, especially since you're the interim champion?
No, like I said before, it is what it is. This belt is nice, the belt is great and stuff, but it's just a belt, at the end of the day, I want the undisputed career. I want to be known as the best ever to ever do this. So the belt is great or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's the pay that comes along with it. It's me cementing my legacy that comes along with it. There's so much more things that's behind it than just the belt. So it'd be great. It'd be great. I love the belt. Don't get me wrong. The belt is cool as shit and heavy. But at the end of the day, it's just a belt. The pay and the stuff that comes along with it is the great stuff.
Right, and also previously, you talked about how Jose Aldo is kind of taking things personally, but it's business for you once you're inside the cage. Now, do you think that would give you the mental edge going into the fight, knowing that Jose, who is, as we all know, one of the greatest of all time, still kind of has this emotional side that he will be carrying into the cage?
No, I can't speak for the man. I don't know. We see what happens. We see what happens when it comes June 3rd. I'm excited. I'm getting ready for the best Jose Aldo, so I can't wait to step in the octagon, look at him, and we'll go from there.
Right, and you've built this 10-fight win streak, and you're just 25. You're still very young. So can you talk about how the upcoming pay-per-view is a culmination of years of hard work and what this opportunity means to you personally?
Oh man, this means a lot. This means a lot. To headline a card, and a pay-per-view card, and whatnot, and to do it in this guy's hometown, and potentially having the undisputed title is great. So I can't wait, man. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of just trials and tribulations, and it's just great, man. It's been a road, but you can't step back and smell the flowers just yet. That's just it's always one foot at a time, and I'm not looking too far back. I'm not looking too far forward. When I'm done retire, I can sit back and smell the roses. But right now it's grind time. It's great when I think about it, but try not to think about it too much. There's a lot I want to do in this sport, and a lot left I can do. So that's what I'm focusing on.
Right, and you just talked about how the Singapore fight was important for you and for your career. Now just before that, your last loss, and Jose's last loss was against the same man. So I think it'd be fair to kind of talk about him leading up to your fight. Is there any part of you that kind of looks forward to beating Aldo and call Conor McGregor out to avenge your loss?
Look. Why have I? Oh, man. Well, I'm going to call the guy out. That guy pick and choose. He pick and choose his fights. He choose who he has to fight. All these guys calling him out is just wasting their time. He's going to choose who he wants to fight. So, and at the end of the day, I'm over here working on me. I want to get to that point where I choose who I get to fight. All these people calling me out. So, this guy never even talked about. Even after he won his title in the division, he never talked about defending or fighting anybody. So, it is what it is. There's no reason to talk about. That guy's gonna pick the fights he wanted to fight, and that's where I want to work to. I want to work to a point where I can pick the guys I want to fight and this and that, and everybody calling me out. So that's all it is.
Okay, one final question for you. Jose Aldo just previously talked about what he thinks about your stylistic, makeup and how the fight will unfold. So do you have any thoughts on how you see this fight unfolding?
That's a great thing. You tune into the pay-per-view June 3rd, you guys can watch. You guys can watch everything, I don't have to say anything, my go read, go look at all the stats, go look at my stats, go look at Jose Aldo stats, and you guys can tell me how it finished, how you guys think how it gets done, and tune into June 3rd because it's going to be an exciting one.
Sure. Thank you, Max.
And we'll take our next question from Spencer Kite with UFC.com. Please go ahead.
Hey, Max, how much of this frustrated energy that we're getting now and these facts that you're spitting comes from a feeling of not getting the respect and recognition you deserve for the performances you've had and this 10-fight win streak to carry you to this point?
You know, it's life, man. It is what it is. You know, these guys, you know, you guys back up some guys, this and that. They push more media out on some guys, this and that. It's like, guys, I'm young. I'm 25. You know, I'm 25 too. You know, and then, you know, just because I don't have a comb over or some nice shoes or a nice pair of shades, you know, they're not pushing me. Some bullshit. You know, it is what it is, though. You know, it's just everything comes in due time. You know, and my time's coming. You guys are gonna see. You know, like I said at 206 after the weigh-ins, you know, a story's gonna be born. You know, and at 212, you know, that story's about to get brighter. You know, so that's the plan.
Do you feel like you've been overlooked and there have been missed opportunities, and you see some guys that you sit back and question and say, how come that guy's getting pushed? Look what I've done.
You know, do you guys feel? A question to all you media guys. Do you guys feel that about that push? You guys should ask your guys questions. You know, it is what it is, because it's if they're gonna push somebody, whatever, you know, great, you know. But I'm over here doing the walk, you know. Not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. So that's just how it is. You know, you guys ask you guys self who you guys think so stuff, and you guys can answer that for you guys self.
And last one is just, does this feel then like a moment and an opportunity for you to grab that spotlight and garner that attention that a 10-fight win streak over some of the guys that it has been thus far usually would command?
Yeah, for sure. You know, this is the biggest fight of my life. You know, every time your next fight is the biggest fight, and this is the biggest fight. You know, against, you know, one of the greatest guys to ever do it in our division. So, you know, I'm taking full control of this opportunity. You know, I'm in control of everything that I can control. And June 3rd, you know, you guys get to go out there and see what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and it should be great. You know, it's opportunity and it's timing. You know, the timing wasn't 5 fights ago. You know, I guess timing is now, and I gotta take full advantage of it.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
And we'll take our next question from Kendrick Johnson with ringtv.com. Please go ahead.
How you doing, Max?
Good. How you doing, man?
How much do you think the fact that he has experience in these type of situations will play in advance into this match? Do you think it's going to come into play in the later rounds or anything, or just a separate guy, new guy, and all that good stuff?
You know, we see. You know, I've been in some spotlights. You know, I've been in. I had a 5-round fight outside of the UFC, and you know, we're gonna see what happens. I got ready for everything. We got ready for everything, and I just can't wait. You know, I just can't wait to show the world what's up.
And you talked about how you hope to get in a position with Conor where you can call people out. Do you think people should use him as a blueprint to be a just not just a champion, but just how to basically make money and what to do in this game that we call MMA?
No, not at all. You know, people should be who they are. People should be who the hell they want to be. You know, be yourself, be real. You know, that's just, it is what it is. You know, it's just why are you gonna try and, you know, whatever for a couple bucks? You know, just be yourself. You know, be real. You know, and do the media stuff. Do all the stuff that you need to do. But, you know, be yourself. You know, don't try to change. Don't put a facade to people. You know, just be real.
And we know you definitely got your legacy in the back of your mind. With the win over Jose, will your next goals be to say you get that belt on Saturday? Will your next goals be to go down as the greatest featherweight of all time, being that you beat the guy who people considers the greatest featherweight of all time, and beat some of his records and title defenses and all that good stuff?
I don't know. You know, we see. You know, it's just we see what happens. You know, man. I'm just going in there, and we just gotta figure out. I'm going out there to just fight. You know, fight and, you know, bring what I worked on and show you guys what I worked on. You know, it's just, who knows? You know, who knows? You can't be saying that. That's like MMA. That's like fighting stuff, because this guy beat this guy, and that guy beat that guy. You know, he cemented. You know, he's one more in my legacy. You know, one more in my legacy. You know, people keep talking about, oh, that guy beat that guy, that's why he can't beat that guy. No, every fight is different. Every fighter is different, and you gotta actually go against the person, But I definitely would take a right step in where I want to go, over a win with Aldo, and I'll take a big step, actually, in the right step, in the right way. So I just can't wait for the opportunity.
Ain't called. Hearing Bruce Buffer say ain't new. Have you thought about the emotions that's going to overcome you, or you just something like you just going to live it in the moment, or if you just have any dreams about that?
Man, just live in the moment. Just live in the moment, and I visualize it sometimes, but you just gotta live in the moment, man. And I'm sure if anybody plays sport, you don't know how you're gonna react. You think you're gonna react a certain way, winning a championship in whatever sport you play in, and you totally do the opposite. So you just gotta live in the moment. These kind of things, you just gotta soak it in and just take it all in.
And my question is, do you think all the it's been documented, and you've pointed out in this conversation how you had a longer, harder road than most fighters? Do you think in the big scheme of things, it's going to help you? It makes you better, and it's going to make you more dominant now that you're on this stage and it's your time.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, everything happens for a reason. And these things happen for a reason. These 10 fights had to happen. For a reason. That's why I don't get too crazy about it. Some guys cry. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So. And it definitely made me better, and it made me better as a person, and as a fighter, and as a person in and out the cage. It made me smarter. It made me get to deal with media more, gradually into it instead of just getting cracked one time with it. So there's a bunch of stuff that helped, So everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
All right. Good luck next week, brother.
Thank you, man.
And this concludes today's question and answer session. Mr.